Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a rather chill video compared to my other ones, and we're going to be designing my graduation suit. I'm so scared. Graduation is in a couple months' time in July, and I cannot believe the time has gone by so quickly. So essentially today, what we're going to be doing is I've sketched out a very basic sort of template body, essentially with the help of the internet. And so what we're going to be doing then is I'm going to be designing and adding some layers, some different parts of the suit as to essentially just design out what I'm going to be wearing. What I'm doing now is I'm just essentially drawing out my trousers. This is what I'm going to be starting with first, and then I'm going to be drawing on top of that my waistcoat, and then also a shirt and some accessories like that. My trousers I've actually thrifted from an antique store. From an antique store? Thrifted from a thrift store, but they are antique. And they're a really nice sort of Russell cord, so like a wool-cotton blend. And they're really breathable, but they were clearly made for somebody way taller than me. It took out so much fabric when I was just slimming that down and tailoring it up. But it fits lovely now, and it's a really exquisite garment. In terms of what I actually need to be sewing when I do have the time, I'm going to mostly be making a waistcoat essentially. That's going to be the star of the show really. Also me and, getting my degree of course. I won't be making a jacket because I'll be graduating in July, and not gonna lie, I don't want to be wearing any extra layers, especially when I have a humongous graduation gown which is also going to be made out of wool. I might also be making a shirt depending on what colour I want. I have quite a few white shirts which I like very much, although I'm not too certain on as to whether I want white or not, so I might actually make a black shirt. So now you can see me sketching out just the basic outlines of the waistcoat, and I'll also be colouring in some designs. In terms of my inspiration, well, there are plenty of waistcoat designs and sort of like collar shapes and whatnot, but I think I'm going to be going with something a little bit more pre-Victorian, sort of 1820s, 1830s. I also want a very spacey themed waistcoat, mainly because, well, I'm getting a degree in physics with astrophysics, and space is essentially my biggest passion, so obviously I'm going to make something with the space theme. So the pattern that I've used many times and will probably use for this waistcoat is one by Black Snail Patterns. It's a really nice shawl collar waistcoat that, it looks very nice on me, and it's quite a really simple garment to make. I mean, I've made it 3 times now, and it's just a great pattern. In terms of the general sort of design on the more, the fashion and appearance side, I'm thinking of going with 2 layers of fabric. The first base layer being something like a silk satin, or maybe a taffeta, even if I can find that. Or probably even a cotton sateen if I can't really find an appropriate silk fabric that's not going to break the bank. But what I'm really stuck on is the colour and sort of that top layer that's going to go on top of the silk taffeta. So a lot of people typically do stuff like, I think white shirt and black vest I think is the most common for this sort of century, but I don't know, I find it a little bit boring. But I was thinking maybe we could subvert that and go black shirt, white vest, although I tried searching up what that would sort of look like, and I'm not really feeling it, to be honest. Although that being said, I did find this one picture of John Deacon wearing a black shirt and white vest, and he looks absolutely fantastic. Although I don't really have his good looks. Now, in terms of sort of the fashion fabric that's going to go on top of the silk taffeta, I really want something that's going to really just sort of shine, essentially. Maybe even literally. Here you can see me sort of sketching out the shirt. almost all of the shirts that I've made, in fact I think all of the shirts are based off of 18th century and also, no, to some extent like very late 17th century shirts. I know, I don't know why I can't make any modern stuff, I cannot. Everything I make is like before the 1850s. And I will probably make this shirt, if I do make another one, using the same style. So I made quite a nice collection of different sort of fabrics. Essentially, a lot of them are very much just sort of embroidered mesh that have some sort of space or celestial embroidery on top. One thing I'm thinking of is that I don't really want any sort of certain colour dominance, unless if it's, you know, black, white, or even green. And that's mainly because those are the three main colours that I wear, maybe sometimes even with pink, but I don't know what's wrong with me, I cannot wear anything that is not, I cannot sew anything that is not green or like black and white, and I don't know why. A lot of the fabrics tend to also be black but then sort of rainbow in a way, so like multicoloured, so that's something that I could also do. One of the fabrics in particular I recognised, and I think it's definitely based off of a Valentino 2015 collection. I cannot remember which one, I think it was the fall one, but there was this absolutely amazing space collection that Valentino made, and it reminds me so much of that. I've also added some bunny slippers just for fun. Of course I'm not going to be wearing soft slippers on my graduation, my feet will probably hurt quite a lot. Yeah, I just thought it was quite funny. So here you can see me just sort of adding a little bit of colour and sort of like tracing out one of the fabric designs onto the waistcoat itself. I'm just sort of going very basic and just adding sort of like a blue and dark blue sun kind of design. One thing I thought was quite interesting, we just had the graduation ceremony for the winter graduatees, so this is usually the MSc students, and I think there are some other people. Actually, I think it is just MSc and MA students, based on the sleeves that they were wearing on the graduation gown. It's kind of interesting to see how people treat graduation. There's such a big distribution to the way that they treat it. You know, you've got some people who wear really formal, lovely gowns, like very much treating it like a white tie event, as I probably will as well. But then you've also got some people wearing jeans and t-shirt, which, I mean, all the power to them, really. It's their day, they wear what they want. But I just think that's so interesting. If you guys have any sort of opinions as to some of the fabrics that I've shown you, or just maybe just in general what you'd wear to graduation, definitely tell me about it in the comment section, because I'm actually really interested as to what people are going to wear or what people have worn, and also any opinions on the fabrics. You might have seen in a previous video of mine, although I don't really talk about it much because I tend to knit most of the time, but I am quite an avid sewer. In fact, I tend to sew more than I knit, and I prefer sewing. I've been sewing for probably, I think, just over... Oh, wait, how old am I? Oh my god, I am quite old. Yes, I've been sewing for almost 12 years, I think, now. So I've basically come to the end of the sketching now. I'm also probably going to pop up a couple sort of like scarves, or I don't really know what you call them. One of them's an ascot, but the other one I think is just called a bandana. And I was thinking maybe I could wear some of those underneath the shirt if I want things to be a little bit more formal. Though that being said, July is it's not very nice to wear, you know, polyester stuff underneath. I don't know. If any of those look interesting to you, just let me know as well. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I will be back very soon with a video, probably on dark matter, because I'm just itching to talk about some more dark matter and more like cosmology right now. I've just had quite a few coursework deadlines, and also I've been submitting some PhD applications as well, which has taken up a bit of my time. Once those are out of the way, hopefully, if I'm not too burnt out, I should be able to make some more videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.